Everybody, Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissistic Abuse. How you guys doing? I just want to do a little something different this evening. I know I'm posting a little late, but I got news like a few days ago that one of the GOATs, one of the pioneers within the narcissist abuse recovery family has passed on. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. Quite sure some of you've probably heard of it. Ms Angie Atkinson. And we send our deepest condolences to her family and especially her son, who actually posted an update on the tragedy that she passed on Sunday. I think it was Sunday after Thanksgiving. And I just wanted to, sometimes we wait until a person is gone to express how much we admire them or how much we like them or, how much their work meant to us. And I know that she had a lot of followers and a lot of clients that she worked with that expressed, how much, their gratitude and how much they cared for her. But sometimes we in the community that work in this field and do what we do when it comes to narcissist abuse recovery, sometimes, tragedies like this or in a moment of grieving for our community, then we want to express how much we care for people. I had the opportunity, it was when I first started my channel, I think I had maybe like 47 or 67 followers at the time. But I remember she tweeted something when I watched the video or something. So I commented, I was like, hey, I really like the work you're doing. Thank you for what you're doing. Because as a therapist, I would use those therapeutic terms. And even in therapy, when I work with clients, a lot of times, I did not know what we would call popular psychology. I tried to make sure I stay within the lines. I didn't color outside the lines, made sure I used the right verbiage. And because I was a therapist, and I would help people that were going through domestic violence. But it seems like you hit a wall, like you couldn't go any further because it was just something missing. Like there's something more to this, even in my own, experiences. And I remember watching videos and there are a few people that popped up like Little Shaman, Angie Atkinson, Dr. Romney, when I started listening to their videos, and I remember I would listen to Angie Atkinson and I was like, wow, they're adding words or descriptions that normally we don't use in therapy, gaslighting, flying monkeys, the cycle of narcissist abuse, and she was talking about it and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been talking about this all along. I just didn't use those descriptive words. I didn't use popular psychology words, And so when I began to implement that into my practice, I started having more breakthroughs and people, it's almost like you can see the relief on their face, wow, someone finally gets it. And that's when I discovered, I knew that I was in a domestic violence relationship. And, I kept thinking, abnormal psychology, borderline, narcissism, but I didn't really go in depth with it. But when I started watching her videos and watching some of the videos of other pioneers, and they were using the language, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been talking about this all along. It's just I didn't have that verbiage. And so I remember her and I spoke and and most influencers, you just don't follow someone that just started. That's not something that you do. But I remember her saying, what, I normally don't do this, but I'm going to follow your page. So she kind of endorsed me, I'm going to follow your page. And so I remember having conversations. She wanted to do a collaboration. And I remember we set up a time that we're going to do a collab, but our times were different. And so I kind of missed the timing. And so I said, we're going to collab another day. And then I was also thinking, because I traveled throughout the country, throughout the country, when I get up into her area, I was going to invite her to one of my conferences. And I remember the last thing that her and I said, and I didn't know her that well. Don't get me wrong. Oh, you guys were best friends. No, I didn't know her that well. I called her my little my NCIS girl. because she looked just like her. But I remember the last thing her and I said to each other when I think I was on a live. I don't know if I was on a live, but she posted and she was like, "I love this girl." And I said, I love me some Angie Atkinson. I love me some Angie, and the respect was mutual. And, and I honor and respect her. And so I wanted to, just send my condolences to her family, and her son, who kept us updated. I wish there was more we could have done. And I know the community grieves and are mourning for the loss of one of our pioneers, because she was an awesome lady, such a sweetheart, such a pretty lady, and such a gentle heart, been through her own experiences like most of us. And so I just want to make sure that I also, include some of the people that that I used to watch, that got me started, that in even my own community that I'm in now, people like Mr. Quinn Holiday, people like Dr. Les Carter, people like Little Shaman. So if you guys never knew what Little Shaman looked like, here she is, Little Shaman. People like Tonya, Melanie. Is it Tonya? Melanie Tonya Evans. Miss Melanie Tonya Evans. Dr. Romney. And then, of course, my own circle, my own family. People like Cluster Be Free, Karen Smith. Telsha with the T on NPD. My big sister, Kathy Gibson, My Life is Intentional. And normally her platform is not primarily focused on narcissist abuse, but she has a beautiful heart, and she's really out to help women understand their value. And then, of course, my mother, Apostle Helen Sadler. Helen Sadler, not My Life is Intentional. That's Bishop Kathy, but Your Destiny Helper. So you guys know Helen Sadler, Your Destiny Helper. And then once again, just in remembrance of Angie Atkinson, she has done a phenomenal job. She has really laid down foundations. She really knew she was talking about. She's really in depth. She's really good at what she did. She's going to be really missed, and we love her. And, for my family and this community, we would like to send her family our sincerest condolences in memory of Angie Atkinson. Make sure I get that right. And to her son, Noah Atkinson, know that you have a family here in the narcissist abuse recovery. We want you to know that we love you. You guys have a wonderful night. Good night, everybody.